1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest.
Welcome back.
Alton Moore is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Glad to have you with us, Alex. I'm glad you're back in the house. Well, you're out there usually out running around the country, so I'm glad to see you had a little time to spare with us. Hey, let's take a look and see what we're celebrating today. There's always something to celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio. Let's check it out. Care Bears Share Your Care Day. National Teddy Bear Day. What else we have going on here? School Picture Day. I think I might be a little bit old for that one. So
it is what it is.
National Wiener Schnitzel Day. Okay, I can go with Wiener Schnitzel Day. That's, of everything I'm seeing here, that's good. And if we have any leftovers, we can use that tomorrow, because tomorrow is National TV Dinner Day. So I think I'm just going to go get a little wine tomorrow and call it a day. That's no fun. Okay, let's look at what the markets are doing right now. Dow Jones now down 21 points. It was up quite a bit earlier today. The S&P 500 down 3.33. NASDAQ is up 24. Oil down 13 cents a barrel. Let's look. Okay, Laura, you're at 288. That is our tremendous underwriter in Louisiana. 288 is what they're paying for gasoline over there. Josh is still holding steady right there at $4 and a penny. Okay, he's better than us in California at $4.40 a gallon. Wow! $4.40 a gallon here in California. $3.18 is the national average. Let's move right along and see what else is going on in the world, because gasoline is not going to be exciting us. Mortgage, the bond rates, 10-year Treasury, down 2 basis points right now to 1.32 is the yield on that 10-year Treasury. Germany, you're still getting negative. Give them your money for 10 years into the government. You're not going to get it all back. You're losing a negative 0.36 is the yield over there in Germany. Japan. I mean, it was a couple decades that Japan was always running negative. They're at 0.4 right now. So at least you get your money back in Japan. I mean, it's not like it's good. You get your money back there. Moving right along, let's see what else is going on. Yeah, 10-year mortgage. Why? I look at some of the numbers, and you go to various websites, and it fascinates me when I watch what's going on. Because I'm looking right now, and I won't say that I'm looking at Yahoo Money. I'm not going to say that at all. And I'm looking that they're promoting a 10-year mortgage. Why? Why in the world would anybody want a 10-year? Now, I know from an emotional standpoint, there are those people that want to have their properties paid off. But if you're looking from a financial standpoint, there's no good reason to have a paid off property from a financial standpoint. Again, I can't compete with emotion. I don't even understand emotion when it comes to money, right? It's how much money is my money going to make for me? Where can I put it to be most advantageous? Yes, I know that a house is the only investment that I can make, that does not necessarily detract from my budget, right? Because if I put money into a 401k, I've got to take that money out of my budget and put it into the 401k. If I want to buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds, I wouldn't think of ever buying cryptocurrency in this environment, right? Any of those things, I have to take money out of my budget to buy those things. But for my own residence, I'm going to either be paying rent, which is in my budget, or a mortgage, which is part of my budget. So it's just transferring. And one way I pay someone else's mortgage, the other way I pay my own. So there's big differences there. Only investment you can make where you're not taking money out of your budget to invest. Right now, here's the thing. Take the money out of the property. I feel you keep 20, 25% equity. Now, if you're playing Monopoly, and I love playing Monopoly, right? So you're going to take as much money out of your primary residence. So if you are one of those people, and this is an interesting survey that I'm looking at right now, and I just find this to be fascinating, and it's, I think LendingTree did this survey, and it's what's keeping consumers from buying a home. 54% say they cannot afford the down payment. Hogwash. Home prices are too high in the area, 36%. Okay, so you're getting a bargain on rent, right? You got the Walmart of rent, I don't know. Credit score makes it hard to qualify for a mortgage, 32%. I understand all that, right? There are mortgages that you can get with a 580 FICO score. If you have if your FICO score is below 580, you better figure it out. There's a lot of programs we can get you on to help with that. But here's my issue right there, is get on a game plan to own your own piece of property. One way or another, buy that first piece of property. If you're buying the first piece of property, you can do it with 3% down, 3.5% down. Veterans, you don't have to put any money down. USDA, no money down. Down payment assistance, I don't care. Buy a piece of property. Now, if what's happened over the last 2 years continues, and it won't, but if what happens over the last 2 years continues, we're seeing 15 to 20% appreciation. I hope it doesn't happen that way continually because that's not healthy, and we're already starting to see the market swing a little bit. But Orange County, California, you're looking at about a 5.36% appreciation rate over the last 61 years. That's the average number over 61 years. So if we're averaging that over 61 years, that's what you call healthy because that's sustainable, obviously, right? So think about this concept. If you buy a $500,000 home, you put $2,500 down because down payment assistance, you can probably, if you qualify for it, that's about where the numbers are. 5.34% appreciation means you're getting $25,000 a year. Wait 5 years, you've got $125,000. I know it's going to be a little more than that, but roughly $125,000 in appreciation if the numbers follow. No guarantees. But here's the issue. Pull that money out. Pull as much equity out as you possibly can. It's your primary residence. So you can go to an 80% loan to value and then wait a little bit and go buy another property. Rent out the house you're in right now. Buy a bigger, nicer house for yourself. That way you can get another 10% down payment. Think about that concept. So now buy a $750,000 house and you just took out $125,000, put $75,000 down. And now you've got two pieces of property. You're renting out the first one. Somebody else is making that mortgage payment for you. 5 years later, do the same thing again. But now you've got two pieces of property totaling roughly $2 million in value, appreciating at 5% a year. It's 100. No, I'm not the accountant. I'll be the accountant here. I think that's about 100,000 a year in appreciation. What are you doing now that's going to get you $100,000 a year added to your net worth while you go and do your job and do whatever else you're doing? Think about that. Now, we know that from statistics, about 33 years of age is when we're starting household formations. If you're 33 or contemplating getting there, think about this process. Think about this game plan. Get on the track to owning multiple properties. That's what we're looking for right here. That's our goal for you if you want to be financially secure, financially safe, wealthy. How do you define wealthy? Everyone defines wealthy a different way. I'm going to tell you how I define wealthy. When you have the money to do what you want to do and the time to do it, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that have all the money in the world but no time. They can't enjoy it. So you have to have both, all the money that you need and the time to enjoy it. That's how I define wealth. Everybody has their own definition, just throwing out their mind. And there is a game plan in the last 8 minutes I just gave you, how to become wealthy over time. But we want to figure out, how do we do all that and disinherit Uncle Sam? I like the idea of disinheriting Uncle Sam, right? I don't know about you. Maybe you like paying Uncle Sam, but we might chat about some ideas about disinheriting Uncle Sam this morning. We're going to talk to Alton Moore about that. We're going to talk about home price appreciation skyrocketing in 2021. What about 2022? We will chat about that. And I think we've got a featured home brought to you by my favorite lender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And you can even go to the website, 800-306-1990.com, 800-306-1990.com, and take a look at what they've got to offer. They've got everything you can imagine. Even if you're a business owner who writes everything you possibly can off, you know, they've got it. They've got a program for you as well. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing right now. We were going to get that up here on my screen in a second here. Dow Jones now down 15 points. NASDAQ is up 36.5 points, just about. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury. Look at the S&P 500 first. The S&P 500 is down 2.18. 10-year Treasury down 2 basis points on the yield. That's the interest. While the mortgage-backed security is up 11 basis points on the bond, which means interest rate is down this morning from where it was yesterday. And I don't want to get into a lot of the technical reasons for it, but there are some technicals that are working in there. European Central Bank, though, announced it'll be reducing its purchasing over the next quarter from $80 billion per month, but they didn't say how much. So maybe they'll go to 70, maybe they'll go to 60. The ECB appears to be moving faster than our Fed. Well, our Fed isn't going to move very quickly. Why? Jerome Powell wants to keep his job. How does he keep his job? He keeps, well, I don't know if it's possible to keep President Biden happy, because I'm not sure. Well, I think he's on his happy pills all the time, but that's a different story. But he has to keep the administration happy, so he has to keep up this the spending spree that he's on. Initial jobless claims, which measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time, down 35,000 to 310,000, which is a post-COVID low. Continuing claims, which measures individuals who continue to receive benefits, were down 22,000 to 2.8 million, which is also a post-COVID low after the upward revision to the previous report. Extended benefits increased nearly 200,000, while pandemic unemployment and emergency benefits were down a combined 315,000. 11.9 million individuals are still receiving benefits throughout all the programs, down 256,000 from the previous report. Remember, although the extra benefits, pandemic unemployment and emergency claims expired on Labor Day, the metrics, the reports are 1 to 2 weeks delayed, so we don't see that impact quite yet. And the last thing I'm going to give you is, if I can find it real quick, Freddie Mac, they came out this morning with their mortgage rate, 30-year fixed rate loan. Freddie Mac number, 2.88%. That's up ever so slightly, 1 basis point from last week at 2.87. So we're still amazing rates. Who would ever think that we're saying, well, they're up, but they're still below 3? Just throw that out there for you. Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. So let's learn this morning. And I like to learn. I get to learn right with you. So what are we going to learn about? Well, Alton Moore is in the house. We're going to chat with him. And let me give a couple of pieces of information here, because Alton, he's one of the smart guys that comes in here. I just do a little radio. So he's an attorney and a CPA, but we're not giving legal advice or accounting advice this morning. We're doing educational work only. So if you want legal or accounting advice and you want I guess this is the real stuff, but that's the formal stuff, individualized stuff. got to call Alton and talk to him, and that's how he supports his family. So, right here we just educate here. We're giving you the right advice, but it's not for you individually. Right? Alton, I always say that I know enough about all these things to educate people to questions.
Yes.
I don't give the answers.
Yeah.
Right? Call you for the answers.
I'd say that's the right thing to do because everybody's fact pattern is a little different and it changes from person to person. So like Ron said, this is more of an educational overview of what we're going to talk about today. And if you have questions on it, make sure to give me a call. I can help you out or at least point you in the right direction.
That's the whole thing is not everybody has the answer to everything.
That's right.
So the whole concept then becomes, as long as you can get the right answers and you're talking to people who are smart enough to tell you they don't know the answer to everything. Because I'll be the first to tell you I don't know the answer to everything.
And I'm the same way.
Right. I mean, it's just the way it is, right? I mean, we've got to get the right information from the right people and have people, you have to be smart enough to know what we don't know.
Yes.
So let's chat a little bit because I had somebody ask me the other day, and I'm glad that this topic came up. What is California's Prop 19? I know it's got to be something to be detrimental to most people, but what is it?
So essentially, it was something that was passed on the ballot back in November of 2020 by the slimmest margins. But long story short, it changes the property tax reassessment exemptions for transfers of property from parent to child, grandparent to grandchild, and then also, property tax reassessment for seniors and victims of natural disasters as well. So, in California fashion, they made it a lot more scrutinous, or I'd say detrimental to persons who want to pass on property or their kids or their grandkids. Now, essentially, when you do that, you're going to have a property tax reassessment, whereas they actually loosen the requirements for seniors and victims of natural disasters or wildfires, because you've seen all that stuff going on in Northern California and so on and so forth.
So they put in this, the way I'm going to look at it, because maybe I'm off a little bit, but what they really did is they set this up that was to raise more money in taxes.
Yes.
But in order to do that, or in order to get it passed, they put in this little caveat there.
Yeah.
Right. That I don't know if the right word is to tease people.
I'd say that's right. So it's funny because you could read in the legislature's notes that their intent was to increase California's tax revenue to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars by this. And also what I thought was interesting, to combat abusive East Coasters taking advantage of California's, I'd say, fruitful property investment. That's how some flowery language they utilize. But so what they did, and I'm sure you guys read it in the ballot, they said this is going to help people who are victims of natural disasters, wildfires, which is true. They did help them out, but the overwhelming majority hits the normal everyday taxpayer who's looking to own their own property, pass it off to their kids as well.
Well, I'm sure that the ballot somewhere said that it was going to benefit schools and the elderly.
Yeah, that's also part of it. Yeah,
right. Everything benefits schools and the elderly that they want to get passed. Just crazy. So, if we do proper estate planning, can we? I don't know. Can we bypass this or avoid this change?
Yeah. So before, because the first part of this, the change of transfers parent to child went into effect on February 16th. So long story short, there's a lot of planning that went into effect prior to that date. But after that, if you want to transfer your principal residence to your kid, so generally speaking, that happens upon, a parent's death, right? For them to keep the same property tax basis as you, they actually have to move in that place as their principal residence now, which,
For how long?
So a minimum of a year, right? Okay. And then, so theoretically, what would happen is after you move out, property tax assessor might try to say, now you're no longer in line with that exemption, and we're going to reassess your property tax value. So you pass on the property to your kid, you live in it for a year, they think they're going to turn it to rental property. No. Now we're actually going to increase the property tax basis, and that might just kill all your revenue on a piece of property, right?
Sure, it's a big change.
Big change, because you're maybe making 5-10% on a piece of rental.
And what about the step up in basis? Did you still get that?
Yeah, you still get that for now, but we'll see what happens.
Explain the step up in basis, because I talk about it as if everybody understands that.
Yeah, so step up in basis, essentially what happens is when a person dies and they pass on property to their heirs, The tax code works such that you step up the income tax basis of that property received to fair market value. So, for example, say, Ron, you have a house worth $100,000, but you bought it 20 years ago for $5,000, right? Now, when you die, you pass it on to your kids aren't going to have that same $5,000 property or income tax basis, but instead they'll take it equal to fair market value. So theoretically, they could sell it for $100,000 and recognize no capital gains on that house. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's still in effect. But what's interesting, Biden and the Democrats they're talking about changing that and getting rid of that step up basis. But that's a different conversation as well.
So you have to watch elections have consequences. That's I think President Obama told us that. Right? I mean,
yeah.
So we're going to continue this conversation. So are there other ways that we can get around legally this Prop 19 issue? And how does the 1031 exchange fit into all this? We're going to chat about all that, continuing our conversation with Alton Moore, talking Evolution Tax and Legal. It's the name of the company. So we're going to continue that conversation when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Home price appreciation skyrocketing in 2021. What about 2022? And yes, of course, we've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Home price appreciation is skyrocketing in 2021. What about 2022? One of the major storylines over the last year is how well the residential real estate market performed. One key metric in the spotlight is home price appreciation. According to the latest indices, home prices are skyrocketing this year. Here are the latest percentages showing the year-over-year increase in home price appreciation. The Home Price Index, HPI, from Federal Housing Finance Agency, 18.8%. The S National Home Price Index from S&P Case-Shiller, 18.6%. The Home Price Insights Report, CoreLogic, 18%. The dramatic increases are seen at every price point and in all regions of the country. Increases are across every price point. According to the latest Home Price Index from CoreLogic, each price range is seeing at least a 19% year-over-year increase. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart of home price appreciation across all price points. Yeah, 19% in the middle to high levels. Again, these are national numbers. That's from CoreLogic. Increases are across every region in the country. Every region in the country is experiencing at least a 14.9% increase in home price appreciation, according to the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And again, we've got a chart if you're watching us. Home price appreciation in every region. So nationally, 17.4% year over year from quarter two to quarter two last year. In the Pacific region, that's just California, Washington, and Oregon, 20.1%. Mountain region, 22.9%. Increases are across each of the top 20 metros in the country, according to the U.S. National Home Price Index from S&P Case-Shiller. Every major metro is seeing at least a 13.3% growth in prices. Unbelievable when you look at some of these numbers. Los Angeles, 18.7%. Josh, out there in Vegas, you're at 19.8%. And I think you've told me some areas are probably a little higher than that even. Phoenix, you're at 29.3%. San Diego, you're at 27.1%. Holy cow. What about price appreciation for 2022? No, I don't know what it is already. Otherwise, I'd be a magician. But here's what the forecast. Prices are the result of the balance between supply and demand. The demand for single-family homes has been strong over the last 18 months. The supply of houses available for sale was near historic lows. However, there's some good news on the supply side. Realtor.com reports 432,000 new listings hit the national housing market in August, an increase of 18,000 over the last year, unquote. There will, however, still be a shortage of supply compared to demand in 2022. CoreLogic reveals, quote, given the widespread demand and considering the number of standalone homes built during the past decade, the single-family market is estimated to be undersupplied by 4.35 million units. Ow! Yet most forecasts call for home price appreciation to moderate in 2022. The Home Price Expectation Survey, a survey of 100 economists, investment strategists, and housing market analysts, calls for 5.12% appreciation level next year. Here are the 2022 home price appreciation forecasts for the four major entities. National Association of Realtors, 4.4. Mortgage Bankers, 8.4. Fannie, 5.1. Freddie, 5.3. So we're still looking at great appreciation. If you're looking at getting a new house, call me, 800-306-1990. No, I don't sell houses. Yes, I can put you on a game plan and in touch with great people anywhere in the sound of my voice. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at I'm sorry, that's the real-time real estate segment. Thanks, Josh. Brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Alex, we don't have time to get into SB 9 and 10 today, but if you want to give me a call, I can give you information on that. I have a lot of questions as to whether either of those are going to pass because they're bypassing the environmental organizations. And those guys have a great lobby. So when you've got a strong lobby, you get what you want, whether it's good or bad. Talk about the school union. I won't go that way. But, hey, you know something? If you want to be able to put 10 units on that house next door, that's what they're looking at here without having to go through environmental challenges. So we're going to continue our conversation, though, today, chatting with Alton Moore. We are talking about Prop 19, which already did go into effect, 1031 exchanges. So, Alton, explain what a 1031 exchange is for us.
Well, from a high level, this might be the only way you can avoid paying tax on a sale of a home ever. Long story short is if you sell a piece of real property and then you reinvest those proceeds into another piece of real property, which is held for investment or business purposes, can't be for any personal purposes, you can defer or roll over that capital gain you would have otherwise recognized, right? And the reason why I said is that this might be the only legitimate loophole to never pay Uncle Sam is because if you use this strategy to the day you die, we talked about a step up in basis earlier, you then pass on that house to your kid with that step up in basis, and then they could sell it for no gain. So this might be the only way to do that.
Now, remember, Alton's made a comment there that I hear a lot of people that say to me, I think I'm going to move into it and they'll never find out. That is against the law, right? We don't recommend ever doing anything that's against the law. Now, do I know if there are 1031 police out there? No idea. But I'm going to share with you that Alton did say this very, very clearly, and I will say it over and over again. This is not for primary residence transfers. That's not what this is for. 1031 is it's a like-kind exchange, right, Alton?
Yeah. So informally known as a like-kind exchange, but specifically has to be real property held for investment or business purposes, exchanged for other real property held for investment or business purposes.
Right. So that's the key, investment or business purposes.
That's right.
Living it in it yourself is not an investment. Well, it is an investment, but it's not a business purpose.
Yeah. So when they say investment, it's more like you're renting out the property. If you're living in it and it becomes your primary residence, or at least that's what you claim, then that property no longer qualifies for the 1031. But that's
if I change my mind 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
So that's what I was going to say. So, there's a lot of people who will use a 1031 exchange and then move into the property thereafter. Now, so let's say you do that and it's no longer qualifying. The IRS, if you want to take that position, the IRS is going to have to audit you to likely find out that you're doing that. So you could theoretically do it, but I wouldn't recommend it as well. You want to try to separate investment and principal residence so you don't get hung up by the IRS when they come knocking on your door.
And that's the whole issue right there is that, if they want to find something, they can always find something.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So why give them an open door to say, something basically, come and get me, IRS. I don't think that sounds pleasant to most people.
No, I would say not. And what's interesting here in California, we know how great the taxation regime here is in California. They let's say you 1031 out of a property because you want to retire somewhere and you think you could do that. They actually make you report that 1031 exchange on a California return for a number of years until it's no longer used for investment purposes or until you sell it because they want their cut of that tax.
So you have to continue showing that year after year.
Yeah, you do. You have to, on a specific form, you report to the state of California so that when you eventually sell that next property you 1031 into, California can now make a claim that the appreciation you had within the state is subject to tax herein.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of people are missing that form because, if you're going on some online service and you're not getting that information, I don't know whether the government between the state and the feds, they should be sophisticated, right, to cross-reference forms.
And they do. They do in a bunch of so whatever gets reported to the federal government also gets reported to California and vice versa. So it's interesting to me that California makes you specifically report that. That's because the federal government can't track what's California source. They just share general information. So they're really trying to track appreciation with California specific property. And then, that's how they make sure they're going to get their cut later on down the road.
Now, I'm going to throw a curveball at you, Alton, and I don't know whether it's appropriate or not, but back in probably, I don't know, I'm guessing it's probably, you might have read this in history books because I'm not sure you were practicing in the early, mid-'80s.
Okay.
Right, so we had, back then, a lot of people would put property into a trust.
Yes.
And they never really sold the property, they sold the trust.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something that we're still seeing this today, or is that gone away? I mean, I haven't seen that in a long time.
So really what I think that you're getting at is that, back in the day, there may have been different ways to utilize tax planning through the use of a trust. And for the most part, people nowadays will use trusts through which they hold real property for estate planning purposes. So essentially when you die, I know who this property is going to go to. But for tax purposes, most of those trusts are now disregarded, and you get the benefits of selling the property directly. And, for the sale of a trust, that could happen, but it's very rare.
Okay. Yeah, that used to be because of the outrageous interest rates. It used to be great. You put the property went into a trust, and then the trust held the note and the asset. You sell the trust keeps making payments on the note.
Yeah.
And instead of paying 18% interest, you might be paying 6% interest. And then you had to take care of the gain either in a second note or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was just curious as to, haven't heard of those, and I think I'm dating myself also because it's 30 or 40 years when that was very, very popular back then. We're going to continue our conversation. California Prop 19, the 1031 exchange. How do we disinherit the IRS with attorney and CPA? Alton Moore. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net, myfavoritelender.net, 7418 Altiva Place, Carlsbad, 2 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. Welcome home to 7418 Altiva Place, where you'll find an immaculate, light, and bright top floor unit in a superior location within Spyglass Hills. 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo boasts jaw-dropping views and features its own private balcony, which is conveniently accessible from both the master suite and the living room. You'll love the interior laundry, too. The property even has an oversized dedicated garage with a bonus storage room and an additional dedicated second parking spot. Nice property. Look at the pictures of that if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed. This one's listed by Brent Humphreys, Humphreys Homes and Estates. List price $605,000. 3.5% down. You're looking at $2,386 a month. With 20% down, you're looking at $2,073 a month. 25% down, strategically speaking, you're looking at $1,852 a month. That is principal and interest payments only. Taxes, insurance, HOA, and mortgage insurance, if any apply, must be added to that. For those of you keeping score, and I know you are compliance people, that it would be APRs of 3.675, 3.188, and 2.973, NMLS 217037. Again, featured home, 7418 Altiva Place, Carlsbad. Brent Humphreys is the listing agent. $605,000. More information on this or any property we just chat about, call me at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Continuing our conversation this morning, Alton Moore is in the house. We're talking about California Prop 19 and the 1031 exchange, and how do we disinherit the IRS? Actually, I guess you're never going to disinherit the IRS, but we want to legally minimize how much we have to send to them. I guess that's the focus right here.
Yeah, that's right.
So talk a little bit about the idea here, the natural disasters. How does all that fit into this other than helping to get a few votes?
Yeah, so this is actually the one thing that California did to help seniors and victims of natural disasters. So what they did essentially is, before the passage of Prop 19, there is a long set of regulations about how you could transfer your property tax basis if you were, your house was destroyed in an earthquake or a wildfire or whatnot. And it was quite complex, depending on if it was you're transferring your house to inter-county, intra-county, things along those lines.
I mean, they wanted to make it difficult for people to do what was just morally right.
That's right.
Surprise.
It's crazy.
So what they did is they combined all these property tax reassessment rules for seniors and victims of natural disasters and made the requirements a little bit looser to transfer your property tax basis. Now, essentially, if you're over 55 or you're a victim of natural disaster, you can move anywhere in California. Doesn't matter if it's up or down the coast. You can transfer your property tax basis 3 different times, and there's only a limited assessment or increase your property tax basis if the property you buy in replacement of the one you sell has a higher fair market value than the one that you're selling. So let's say, okay, so a good example, you bought a house, let's call it Crystal Cove, back in 2000 for $500,000. Now you want to move, let's say you're 55, you look younger
Crystal
than that.
Cove, $500,000. That's the down payment.
Hey, I have one quick story. My parents almost bought a house back in 2000. I was just a little kid, didn't want to move there, so they didn't.
Oh.
They still hammer on me for that all the time. But so let's say you do that. Now the house is worth $1.5 million. You want to move up the coast to go see your kids, and you buy a house worth $1.75, up the coast. Generally speaking, you can take that same property tax basis of the $500,000, transfer it to the next one, but now you only need to add on $250,000 property tax basis because the net fair market value is higher in the replacement.
You're going to pay based on the 500 initial, and then the delta of 250. So you're in essence paying 750 on property taxes on 750,000.
Yeah, so it's not a complete exemption; it's limited. But let's say you move up the coast and it's a lower fair market value. There's no increase there.
And what's the likelihood of that?
Not very high in these markets.
Now, it should be fascinating to figure out what is the fair market value of a home that was just destroyed in a natural disaster.
That's a good question, and I think because that would you'd have to bring in an appraiser, right? So it's like, what was the value before the natural disaster hits? That's how you would determine it. And then, you'd have to compare it to the new one as well, right? Because obviously the California government's not going to say, oh, well, your principal residence is worth the worth of the land because now it's destroyed. That's not how it's going to happen.
They might try that, though, with the way our taxing authorities are. They could try that out. That might get, if they can get more money, they're going to do that however they can.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the idea here is the whole concept is that there is some relief at least through this whole process.
And the best thing is you only used to be able to use this once. Now you could use this 3 times. So theoretically,
if your house gets hit by a natural disaster 4 times, you're out.
Yeah.
You should have learned the first 3 times, get out of that zone.
Yeah, don't live there anymore, right?
Yeah, but when you think about it, if you're, how many years has it been since that we've always heard about Malibu having the landslides, right?
Yeah, that, and then NorCal having the fires, like how it's having again. Southern California, like the one that was in, was it Black Star Canyon, or still pretty awful stuff.
Right. So at least there is some help there. So I guess there's so much involved in all of this.
Yeah.
That the whole bottom line here is, here's some thoughts for you. So if you're dealing with natural disaster, you got to call a professional because there are property tax somewhat logical solutions.
Yes.
We don't have as much benefit now if mom or dad pass and leave us a property. Some of the benefits are still there, but you better take action the right way.
Yeah.
So you need to understand the benefits or what you need to do because you might be needing to move in.
Yeah, that's right. So that's for a principal residence. Oh, I don't think we talked about this. If your parents or grandparents transfer you like rental property, before you could take, you would not have a reassessment of property tax up to $1 million of fair market value. Now it's completely gone. Now, no matter what, if they transfer you anything besides their principal residence, automatically reassessed to fair market value. So that's a big hammer on a lot of people who are looking to hold on to passive income because the margins are too thin to withstand that type of increase here in California.
That's amazing how they've made these changes. Now here's the issue right now, and we're not going to get into it today but I know that if you want more information on this, call me and I'll put you in touch with Alton. There are some specialized trusts that you can put the property into and you can still delay those taxes, right? So we're not going to get into that today. They are a little bit more complex and we have time on a radio broadcast to get into. But know again that they're there. We're not giving you that. Alton didn't give you all. I've got 16 pages of information that Alton sent over to me to talk about today. We get into high level stuff. We're talking about the 3,000 foot level. That's why I said to you at the very beginning, Alton's not giving you tax or legal advice. He's giving you background information. And if you want that tax and legal advice, give him a call. I'll put you in touch with him, 800-306-1990. He does have a website here. What's the website, Alton?
So www.evolutiontaxlegal.com.
Holy cow, he gets all of it in there. Call me, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Alton Moore so he can help you, give you the advice specific to you. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time at Ron Siegel Radio.
I'll just call it a day. Pour me something tall and strong. Make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock some